Welcome back, Rewinders, to the Sunday Night Rewind as we recap all of the Week 11 action. We had some monster games today. I'm the Birdman, Chris Lemke. Check me out on X at clemke007 underscore FF. Let's get right into the action. And we'll get things started off with the Bucks traveling to the Bills, taking on the Josh Allen-led Buffalo Bills. And Allen took us to the woodshed, finished with 6 touchdowns on the day, 3 rushing, 3 receiving. Bills had 3 turnovers on the day, but the Bucks just couldn't capitalize enough on them. Tampa was right in it down to the end. There was a face mask call that I didn't care for too much that led to Buffalo's final touchdown, putting the game out of reach for Tampa. But we had our shots. It was 4th and 2 at our own 45 with about 8 minutes left, and Todd Bowles decided to punt it away. Bills walked down the field, of course, and scored that touchdown to put the game out of reach. But regardless, Josh Allen was an absolute monster today, over 300 yards passing. Oh, it was frustrating watching. You just couldn't stop the man. 40 yards on the ground, 3 touchdowns rushing. First guy since Cam Newton to have a 3 touchdown passing and 3 touchdown rushing day in the NFL. Over to the Bucks, Sean Tucker did put some hope into the Bucks rushing attack. He went over 100 yards, finished with 106 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground, added 1 receiving, so he finished with 140 yards total. Offense for Tampa, monster performance for him. And so even without Bucky Irving, the Bucks looked pretty good rushing. Now, it was against the Bills' porous rush defense. Let's check out the box score here. First of all, for the Bills, there you see it, Josh Allen, 317 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks on the day. He added his 40 yards rushing and the 3 touchdowns on the ground. James Cook just 48 yards on the ground, but Cook did get into the end zone through the air, 66 yards receiving for Cook. Tyrell Shavers, the rookie, with 4 catches for 90 yards and a long touchdown against the Bucs secondary. Khalil Shakir, you got to scroll all the way down there. 1 grab for -3 yards, so they bottled up Shakir and the short passing game. No Dalton Kincaid today, but Dawson Knox, 1 catch for 23 yards. So they bottled up the receivers somewhat, but Allen spread it around to what? Let's see here, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different guys. And again, 6 touchdowns, just unstoppable today, Josh Allen. Over to the Bucs box score. Baker Mayfield, up and down day for Baker. 16 of 28 for 173, a touchdown and a pick. That 1 touchdown was to Sean Tucker there on a little dump off to the right, and he took it to the house. Tucker finished with 2 catches for 34 yards. Sterling Shepard led the way for the Bucs receivers, 4 catches for 54 yards. And Buka, just 5 catches for only 40 yards today. Cade Otton, 2 catches for 28 yards and a couple of drops. There you see it. Sean Tucker, 19 carries for 106 yards. Rachaad White, 10 carries for 51 yards. So it wasn't like Rachaad White sucked. It's just that Sean Tucker was pretty tough today. Both guys over 5 yards a carry. Baker added another 39 yards on the ground. So the Bucs had no problem running the ball. It's just that when they got down in the second half, the Bills' stingy pass defense stepped things up. All right, let's head over to our next game, and that will be the Packers traveling to New York to take on the Giants, and Christian Watson, as I mentioned today on the Start Sit show. Watson was a massive start today against the porous Giants secondary, and he showed why. Watson getting 2 touchdowns on the afternoon. Scroll down here. There it is. In his 4th game back, 4 catches for 46 yards, but the 2 touchdowns on the day. Jordan Love got banged up. He was tackled on a scramble to the right side and rammed into the turf. So there was a question mark on his shoulder there. But he did return, and he did throw a touchdown to Christian Watson late as they increased their lead to 27-20. And Jameis Winston, unfortunately, couldn't lead them to a comeback victory. He drove them all the way down the field, and then communication between him and his receiver in the end zone was obvious, and Packers got an interception and ended things that way. Let's head to the box score if I can find it here. Where is it? Do they not have it? Oh, I already have it up. Here we go. All right. For the Packers-Giants game, the box score. For the Packers, Jordan Love, again, was injured for a little bit, had to go to the locker room, but came back. He finished 13-24 for 174 yards and 2 touchdowns. The first touchdown for Watson was from Malik Willis, who finished 2 of 2 for 6 yards, and that touchdown to Christian Watson. The big story going forward here for the Packers is Josh Jacobs. He left with a knee injury. He finished 7 carries for 40 yards on the day. Emmanuel Wilson came in then, subbed in, got in the end zone. He finished 11 for 40. So Wilson will be a nice waiver wire addition this week as we wait for word on Josh Jacobs. They have said that it's not season ending. Basically, he jammed his knee into the turf as he was tackled out of bounds. And so they say it's a PCL injury, nothing like an ACL or MCL there for Josh Jacobs. Romeo Doubs, 4 for 53 on the day. Christian Watson, you can see there, 4 for 46. Not much else going on, though, for the Packers. Josh Wiley, the backup tight end, backup to the backup of Luke Musgrave. Josh Wiley with the other touchdown there. Over to the Giants box score. Jameis Winston, 19-29, 201 yards, no touchdowns, and a pick. He did run one in on a tush push there from the 1-yard line, getting the Giants up to their 20 points. That gave them the lead midway through the 4th quarter. But it wasn't enough. Tyron Tracy with a solid afternoon, 19 carries for 88 yards, also added 4 for 51 through the air. So what's that, 139 total yards on the day. Isaiah Hodgins, 5 for 57 on the day, as the Broncos now just defeated the Chiefs 22-19 on a last-second field goal by Will Lutz, his fifth field goal of the afternoon. And the Broncos head to 9-2. Chiefs fall to 5-5. Oh, that's exciting stuff. Back to the Giants box score here. Wan'Dale Robinson just 4 for 36. Theo Johnson 3 for 36. So not the performance from Winston we were really hoping for, but it wasn't that unexpected that he struggled a little against the Packers defense. Packers have a solid pass defense, and Winston wasn't able to just sling it all over the place, and they played a good game. They hung there with the Packers, but couldn't pull it out in the end, and the Packers go on to the victory. All right. Now, on down to Atlanta and the Carolina Panthers taking on the Atlanta Falcons. And Bryce Young Bryce Young goes over 400 yards, 448 yards, 3 touchdowns on the day, 2 of them including the game winner to Tetairoa McMillan. Yes, let's head over to the box score here. And the Panthers pull out the win 30-27 in overtime. Sorry, that wasn't the game winner. That was the game tying touchdown to Ted McMillan. My apologies. That sent the game into overtime. And Bryce Young, there you see it, 448 yards on 31 of 45 pass attempts, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Rico Dowdle struggled today against the Atlanta D, just 45 yards on 19 carries. Tetairoa McMillan on the bottom. The rookie goes 8 for 130 and the 2 touchdowns. Xavier Legette also had a nice day, 4 for 83 and a touchdown earlier on. Rico Dowdle added 5 for 55 through the air, so he did get to 100 total yards on the day. As for the Falcons, well, Michael Penix, an all right afternoon, 13 for 16, but that got banged up and had to leave. Kirk Cousins relieved him. Not a great day for Cousins, 6 of 14 for 48 yards only, as he led them into overtime and wasn't able to get the victory. Bijan with a strong afternoon, though. Bijan Robinson, 23 carries for 104 yards and 2 touchdowns. Tyler Algier banged one in. Also, he finished with just 10 yards on the ground, but got the touchdown. Drake London with a solid afternoon. He had 7 catches for 119 yards on the day. Bijan added 4 catches for 39 yards. Darnell Mooney earlier on, 3 catches for 34 yards, but that's what he finished with. Kyle Pitts, just 2 for 14 on the day. All right. Now over to Nico Collins and the Houston Texans traveling to Tennessee to take on the Titans. Nico just finished under 100 yards on the day. He went, let's see here, how many total? Was it 98? 92. 9 for 92 and a touchdown. That gave the Texans the lead at that point. Game ended up going into overtime. We can scroll through that box score quickly, as there wasn't a whole lot of fantasy excitement going on there. Davis Mills with a solid day, 26 of 41 for 274 and the touchdown to Nico. Woody Marks just 18 for 44 on the ground. He clearly has taken over that backfield, though. I know he struggled today, so maybe we'll see more touches, more carries for Nick Chubb next week. But 18-3 in rushing attempts there. There you see Nico Collins, 9 for 92 on 10 targets and the touchdown. Jaden Higgins showing up here. The rookie goes 4 for 55. Dalton Schultz, 6 for 51 on 9 targets. Xavier Hutchinson, 3 for 42, as Davis Mills leads the Texans to victory. Over to the Titans box score. Cam Ward. Hey, against the Texans D, I'll give this for the rookie. Cam Ward showed up. 24-37 for 194, 1 touchdown and no picks against that Texans defense, the top defense in the league. I'll give that for Cam Ward. Solid afternoon. He added 33 yards on the ground. Couldn't pull out the victory, though, as the Titans struggled on the ground all day. 10 for 22 for Pollard, 4 carries for 3 yards for Spears. Chimere Dike left the game with an injury. That was after Calvin Ridley, who had been out for about a month with a bad hamstring. He showed up. First play, hamstring goes down. He gets carried off the field. So, the Titans were not only their depleted wide receiver room as is, got more depleted today. Elikayo Manor was stuffed. He just had 2 catches for 11 yards. So Not much going on there for the Titans. 3 for 56 for Chigokankwo. Tajay Spears added 5 for 31. Gunnar Helm, rookie tight end, goes 4 for 29 on the day. And let's get back to the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. Yes, in the Icy Hot Bowl. Number 2, Aaron Rodgers and Joe Flacco going toe-to-toe here. And let's see here. Yeah. Let's bring it up. Kenneth Gainwell. Oh my. Yes, Kenneth Gainwell with 2 touchdowns on the day, both receiving. 7 for 81 through the air for Kenneth Gainwell, 9 for 24 on the ground. So he'll be a hot waiver add. I don't know if it's that sustainable for Gainwell, but it was against the Cincinnati Bengals defense. So there you have it. Play your guys against Cincinnati. Yeah, Kenny Gainwell. I mean, am I shocked? Not totally, but I mean, it is what it is. Against the Bengals, you play your guys. Now for the Bengals box score, Joe Flacco, 23 of 40 for 199, a touchdown and an interception. Chase Brown just under the century mark, 18 carries for 99 yards. The key here was they bottled up Jamar Chase, just 3 for 30 on the day. He had 10 targets, but only 3 catches for Jamar. T. Higgins got in the end zone, 3 for 63 on 8 targets. Noah Fant added 5 catches for 36 yards, and Chase Brown added 6 catches for 28 yards. So he went for 127 total yards, did Chase Brown. But it wasn't enough. The Steelers ran away with this one. Over to the Steelers box score. There you have Aaron Rodgers, who got banged up at halftime. He left with a hand injury, so that's something to monitor whether he'll be back next week. He finished 9 for 15 on the day with 116 yards and 1 touchdown to Gainwell. Then Mason Rudolph came in and threw another touchdown to Gainwell. He went 12 for 16 for 127 yards. Jaylen Warren, 10 for 62 on the ground. There's Gainwell's yards on the ground. Down for the passing stats here. Darnell Washington, 4 for 67. And that ugly 3-headed monster of a tight end room we've got going on in Pittsburgh. DK Metcalf goes 5 for 49 on 8 targets for the Steelers, as the Steelers take down the Bengals and stay in charge of the AFC North division. Let's head over to Spain. That's right, Madrid, Spain, for our first game of the day. And De'Von Achane just lit it up for the Dolphins. Can't find the box score. There we go. Achane goes for, 120 yards rushing, I believe. Yep, 120 yards on the ground, 5 for 45 through the air. Didn't get into the end zone. This one was a nail biter. I don't know that this was exactly the best depiction of a game that we wanted to showcase to the Spaniards, but there you have it. You got a big game from De'Von Achane. Again, 165 total yards, no touchdowns. This one went into overtime, and the Dolphins came out of it with a victory. They moved to 4-7. The Commanders fall to 3-8. All this means is that the Commanders will be picking ahead of the Dolphins in next year's draft come late April, early May. Chris Rodriguez finished with 79 yards on the ground for the Commanders. Marcus Mariota goes 20 of 30 for 213, 1 touchdown and 1 interception. The touchdown pass was to Deebo Samuel. Deebo finished with 7 for 74 on 8 targets. Zach Ertz went 4 for 42, and Not much else for the Commanders. Krosky Merritt got shut down. Bill went 9 for 28 on the ground. As for the Dolphins, Tua, 14 of 20, an efficient but ugly, 171 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. As you see there, Achane goes for 120 yards. Ollie Gordon scooped up 45 yards and the touchdown on the ground. Jalen Waddle somewhat shut down, 3 for 52 on 7 targets. Achane, there you go, 5 for 45 on 5 targets. Malik Washington added 3 for 42. Now to the other games on the day. Let me see if I missed any of the early games. I think I got all of the early games. Nope. Bears and Vikings. Forgot about that one. No fantasy studs in this one. Glad I didn't have to watch much of this. Caleb Williams, 16 of 32 for 193 yards. No touchdowns, no picks. DeAndre Swift, 21 carries for 90 yards. And Kyle Monangai stole another touchdown from Swift. He just finished 12 for 23 on the ground, but added that touchdown. Through the air, Cole Kmet led the way for the Bears, 5 for 45 on 5 targets. Colston Loveland, 3 for 40 on 4 targets. Roma Dunze struggled, just 2 catches for 41 yards. Luther Burden with 3 for 27, and DJ Moore just 1 grab for 18 yards. Over to the Vikings, and it was another rough day for J.J. McCarthy. He went 16 of 32 also. Geez, I wonder if that's ever happened before. Two quarterbacks both going 16 of 32 on the day. Eesh. McCarthy did get a touchdown, but had 2 interceptions. Touchdown pass to Jordan Addison, who went 2 for 20. Justin Jefferson, 5 for 61, and TJ Hawkinson, 3 for 39. On the ground, Aaron Jones went 16 for 70, and Jordan Mason got into the end zone. He went 6 for 45 on the ground as the Bears pull out the victory with a last-second field goal against the Vikings. The Bears stay on top in the NFC North. They moved to 7-3, and the Vikings fell to 4-6 on the day. Now to the late games, where we had 2 games of the day. We'll start it off with which one do we want to start with here? Yeah, we'll head to, oh man, there was one more early game. Hold on, we'll get to the late games in a second, but yeah, don't want to forget about this one. Jacksonville took down the Chargers 35-6. Justin Herbert sucked today. He was gross. Herbert, 10 of 18 for 81 yards. He did get banged up and left for a drive, but came back. 10 of 18 for 81 yards on the day. 1 pick. Trey Lance took over. He went 3 for 8 for 37 yards. Kamani Vidal absolutely stuffed by the Jacksonville rush defense, which I predicted on the Start Sit show, but I said that the Chargers would be slinging it around the yard. It wasn't exactly what I had in mind. 53 yards for Keenan Allen, 2 for 41 for Rondé Gadsden, and not a whole lot else. QJ gets shut down. Ladd McConkey just 3 for 13. Gross for the LA Chargers. Yes, just a bad day. Jacksonville rush game just blew up here. Bashul Tootin goes 15 of 74. 1 touchdown for Tootin. Scootin' Tootin outgaining Etienne by 1 yard. Travis Etienne goes 19 for 73. So those two combined for 147 on the ground. LaQuinton Allen, the other rookie, added another 36 yards on the ground. Etienne got into the end zone twice. Trevor Lawrence added 1 on the ground, and Tim Patrick also got into the fun with a touchdown catch from Trevor Lawrence. If you want to scoop up a Jaguars wide receiver, Jacoby Myers went 5 for 64 on the day. So he was the highest targeted. He out-targeted Parker Washington here. Washington just had 2 targets for 20 yards on the day. So a complete dismantling of the Chargers by the Jaguars D. Now let's head to the late games, and we'll start with, well, this one's right here. So this one just finished up. The Chiefs at Denver. Broncos pull it out 22-19, 5 field goals for Will Lutz on the day. Patrick Mahomes goes 29 for 45 for 276, a touchdown and a pick. The lone touchdown to his guy, Travis Kelce, who went 9 for 91 on 13 targets. Rashee Rice, 6 for 38 on 9 targets. Kareem Hunt with an all right day on the ground, 59 yards and a touchdown there. Brashard Smith did not get a carry. He went just 2 for 8. Hollywood Brown, 4 for 40. And Tyquan Thornton added a deep ball for 61 yards there. Xavier Worthy also, just 3 for 25. So the Chiefs, it was expected to be a grind out game. Kelce had a solid afternoon for sure. But Mahomes, yeah, he struggled all afternoon against this tough Broncos defense to keep things rolling. He did pretty much what you'd expect, though, against the tough Denver defense. Over to Denver's box score here. Bo Nix, 24 of 37 for 295. No touchdowns, no picks on the day, but he gets the win. RJ Harvey led the way on the ground. Gross grinded out 11 for 30 for Harvey. So everybody hoping that he would blow up in Dobbins' absence, who's now out for the season. Well, it wasn't what we were hoping for exactly. He added 3 catches for 20 yards through the air, but no real heroes here offensively. Troy Franklin, 4 for 84 on 8 targets. Pretty solid for him. And Pat Bryant, 5 for 82 on 6 targets. I mean, that's not terrible. Bo Nix spread it around. That's what it really boiled down to. And he got the win, walked out of there. That's what they wanted. They moved to 9-2 on the day. So on the season, so there you have it. Denver pulls out the win against the Kansas City Chiefs. All right, let's do the other game of the day in LA. Probably the biggest game. The Seahawks, first place Seahawks took on the first place Rams, tied for first in that NFC West. And the Rams pull it out as Jason Meyer missed a 61-yarder at the gun. So the Rams take over first place in the NFC West. They move to 8-2. Seattle drops to 7-3 on the season. Down to the box score here, Sam Darnold. So this is just amazing that Seattle was able to hang with them. Sam Darnold, 29 of 44, 279, but no touchdowns and 4 picks on the day. So Darnold did not have a great fantasy day. Kenny Walker, though, 16 for 67, steals the touchdown from Zach Charbonnet this time. Charbonnet went 11 for 37 on the ground. Jackson Smith and Jigba, JSN, goes 9 for 105 on 12 targets. A.J. Barner, the tight end, added 10 grabs for 70 yards on 11 targets. And Rashid Shaheed just 2 for 27. Through the air, he added 1 carry for 2 yards in his second game here for the Seahawks. Cooper Kupp, just 3 for 23 on 7 targets. Over to the Rams box score, and Matthew Stafford pulling out the win. An ugly but efficient 15 for 28 for 130 yards, 2 touchdown passes, one to Devontae Adams, the other to tight end Colby Parkinson. Puka Nacua goes 7 for 75 on 8 targets. Devontae, though, Adams, that was his only catch, the touchdown catch on 8 targets. So my apology. Well, I guess the dude before the Start Sit show asked should I start Emeka Egbuka or Davante Adams? And, well, I don't think either of them got you to 10 points. So, unfortunately, sorry about that. But, yeah, I think it would have been, 9 points for Egbuka and 8 for Adams. So, well, there you have it. Neither of them did well for you. Puka did add 18 yards on the ground. Kyren Williams went 12 for 91 and the 1 rushing touchdown. So Blake Corum just goes 8 for 10 here. And Kyren stole his touchdown. It was Corum's drive, but they slammed Corum into the line 3 times inside the 5. He couldn't punch it in. So on 4th and goal from the 1, they brought Kyren back in, and he finished off the drive there for the Rams as they move to 8-2 on top of the division in the NFC West. All right, moving over to Arizona, and it was the return of Brock Purdy for the San Francisco 49ers, and it was quite the return there. Niners finish off the Cardinals 41-22. Purdy 19-26 for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns on the day. Awesome day for Purdy. McCaffrey goes wild, 13 for 81 and 2 touchdowns on the ground. George Kittle at 6 for 67 through the air, along with 2 touchdowns for Kittle. McCaffrey added 1 touchdown through the air, catching 5 balls for 40 yards, so 121 total yards on the day for McCaffrey. And Juwan Jennings added 4 for 54. Ricky Pearsall in his return. Hopefully you did not start him. Just 1 target. No, 1 catch for no yards on 3 targets, for Pearsall. So that was unfortunate. Over to Arizona, and the story here, Jacoby Brissett setting an NFL record 47 pass completions on 57 attempts. He finished with 452 yards for Brissett. He goes, gets 2 touchdown passes, mostly garbage time, 2 picks on the day for Brissett. Arizona rushing attack, just totally gross here. Bam Knight, 5 for 24. DeMarcado, 5 for 8. So hopefully you didn't start either of them. And you have Michael Wilson and Trey McBride just going nuts, as you'd expect when your quarterback completes 47 passes. Here, Michael Wilson. Hopefully you plugged him in as your desperation flex. 15 catches for 185 yards for Michael Wilson in the absence of Marvin Harrison. Trey McBride, 10 catches for 115 yards and a touchdown on 11 targets. Greg Dortch, 6 for 66 and a touchdown. Michael Carter added 5 for 22, and Bab Knight 4 for 21 through the air. Jacoby Brissett, record-setting day here for the Cardinals in garbage time. All right, and then our final game of the afternoon, we had the Ravens traveling to Cleveland to take on the Browns. The Ravens pull this one out on a fake tush push from 35 yards out. Mark Andrews spins around and runs it in, giving the Ravens the victory. Shedeur Sanders then had 2 minutes to drive the Browns down the field, and it ended on an incompletion at the 25-yard line. The Ravens come out with the victory. Lamar with an ugly afternoon against this tough, stingy Cleveland defense. 14 for 25, 193 yards and 2 picks for Lamar on the day. Derrick Henry, as I said, don't worry, just play him on the Start Sit show. He ended up with 103 yards. The big run was a 59-yarder. That was not the touchdown, but he did have a long 59-yard touchdown run or touchdown. He had a shorter touchdown earlier, but the 59-yarder was just a long run. As for receiving wise for the Ravens, 3 catches for 78 yards for Zay Flowers. Mark Andrews added 3 for 32 through the air, but did get that 1 touchdown run to add to his total. Not much else going on for the Ravens. Over to the Browns. on the afternoon. Ooh, just gross. Let's see here. They combined Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders 11 for 26. Gabriel was 7 for 10, 68 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. Shedeur Sanders in his NFL debut, 4 completions for 16 attempts. He was 4 for 16 for 47 yards. He did complete one to the Ravens for his first NFL interception. His QB rating on the day, 13.5. Yep, there you have it, Cleveland. Pick one of them. Looks like Shedeur might have to start next week. Gabriel went out with a concussion, unfortunately, there. Quinshon Judkins, just 59 yards on the ground. Cedric Tillman led the way through the air. I said to sit Jerry Jeudy this week, even though he had a big week last week. And yeah, Jeudy went 3 for 21 on the day. Cedric Tillman, 3 for 52. Harold Fannin, 2 for 26 on the day. David Njoku, just 1 catch for 7 yards. Yeah, there you have it. There is our, there we go. There is our recap for the Sunday night rewind, week 11. What a day it was. Lots of big games. We had the Bucks Bills game, Josh Allen's 6 touchdowns, Sean Tucker's 3 touchdowns, 140 total yards for Tucker. We had the Rams taking down the Seahawks in a tight one. Sam Darnold with 4 interceptions in that one. The Chiefs losing to the Broncos, and the Chiefs fall to 5-5 now, still outside the playoff picture in the AFC. The Jaguars beat up handily on the Chargers 35-6 as the Jaguars hang on to that last playoff spot. And they moved to 6-4, just ahead of the Chiefs. But again, the Jaguars did beat the Chiefs earlier in the season, so they hold the tiebreaker. So now technically the Chiefs are actually 2 games out of the playoff picture over there in the AFC. And then in the NFC West, we had the big battle between the Rams and the Seahawks, and the Rams take down the Seahawks there, and they move to 8-2. Tonight, we've got our 4th game of the day. What a weekend. Tonight, we've got the Detroit Lions heading into Philly to take on the Eagles. Don't miss that one, coming up here in about 6 or 7 minutes. Enjoy it. Check out the Birdhouse Dynasty show I'll be hosting later this week for some trade action. And then we'll have Mike and Nate coming to you with the Dynasty Rewind show, and Hoff giving you some college football action Wednesday night. All on the Rewind. Check out our Discord. We'll give you all of the Dynasty help that you need. Start sit decisions for Dynasty and redraft. We'll give you some trade advice, trade analysis, whatever you want. We're here for you in the Rewind. Check us out. And remember to never stop working.